and 38 aces. This season, she has amassed 22 of those 38 aces, changing the energy and momentum of the game in a snap. A great personality and as authentic as they come, as he speaks the truth and is a great competitor. We will miss her steady attitude, her sense of humor, and her singing vocals. Ladies and gentlemen, Desiree Pasano. Next, we will recognize Emma Gallegos, the defensive specialist. Emma is graduated in great exercise science pre-PT with plans to pursue a doctorate in physical therapy. From Vernon, Illinois, Emma is being escorted by her mom, Rebecca Gallegos. Emma is a two-time CCAC All-Academic Team member who has played a total of 104 matches in her career for the Trojans. One of the most consistent and dominant servers, Emma has a career 102 aces and has spent the last 2 seasons as one of our regular defensive specialists with a total of 504 days. Emma has been a team player from day one, a constant encourager, and someone who loves to laugh and have fun. Emma is extremely knowledgeable with a high court IQ and helps lead communication with our team. A leader as well, Emma has served as president of Latinos Unidos on campus, helping coordinate events and support other minority student groups on campus. We will miss Emma's jokes, her consistent positive spirit, and her desire to be great. Ladies and gentlemen, Emma Gallegos. Lastly, we would like to honor Anna Scripture. They started for the past 3 seasons. Anna's graduated with a bachelor's in exercise science with emphasis in occupational therapy and a master's in bioethics. Anna's future plan is to go to graduate school for a master's in occupational therapy. From Elgin, Illinois, Anna is being escorted by her parents, Nicole and Chris Scripture. Anna has been an NAIA Scholar Athlete, a 2-time member of the CCAC All-Academic Team, an NCCAA Scholar Athlete. She has also been the 2-time CCAC Setter of the Week, 2-time NCCAA Student Athlete of the Week, and was also a member of the NCCAA All-Region Team. Anna will find her name multiple times in the TIU Volleyball Record Book, being in the top 3 of career assists per set, and holding several single-season records. Anna has amassed 2,940 assists, 812 digs, and 54 aces. Not bad for a part-time center and defensive specialist her freshman year. Anna has been a captain for the last 2 seasons, a leader for SGA on campus, and a member of choir. Anna has always been a competitor and someone who will give her all. Anna is multi-talented and has been a staple for our team during her time here. She listens well and is very analytical on getting the job done. She is intentional, thoughtful, and always loyal. We will miss her crazy eyes, her storytelling, and her work ethic. Ladies and gentlemen, Anna Scripture. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give one last round of applause for our 6 seniors. Thank you, ladies, for all your hard work, time, and commitment to Trinity International University and the women's volleyball program.
As we finish up the ceremony honoring the seniors, there's always a monumental time for a lot of these players. Time of joy where they can remember all the memories that they've had, all the great games that they played, the camaraderie with the teammates. And then on the other hand, there's the sadness that arises as they realize their season is coming to an end. But we will get back to that after the opening prayer.
By Senior Arthur Williams. Dear God, we thank you for bringing us together tonight and for the safety you've given Roosevelt in traveling here today. We thank you for our student athletes and coaches as we step out onto the court and use the talents and abilities you've given us for your glory. We ask that you watch over us this evening as our athletes compete and keep them safe from harm. In your name we pray. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light
legendary Arthur once again delivers a phenomenal performance singing the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, as we get into the starting lineups, my name's Seth Risky. I will be joined by Ethan Oskroba, and we will be doing some joint commentary for at least the first half of this game. I unfortunately will not be able to be with us for this whole game, but I wanted to make it for some of these seniors the last game. It has been such a journey being with this Trojan program through this year and through these past years. Entering into my junior year, I've gotten to see this program now through 3 seasons, and boy, do they have a lot of talent. Boy, do they have a lot of skill, and boy, do they have a lot of passion on this team. Looking at some of these players, you have Kendra, the manager for the volleyball team. She has served so faithfully in that role for so many years. She has really done such a phenomenal job in that position. Looking at Desi, the defensive specialist, just coming in, especially this season, really just coming alive with her serving in that back row, in that serving position, doing a phenomenal job, becoming one of Trinity's best serving players and a consistent threat on her serve. Looking at Anna Skripchak, the setter, the senior captain for the Trojans. She is someone who calls the shots. She is someone who gets this team motivated. She has been such a character, such a leader for this team on and off the campus, like Ethan was talking about earlier, and she has really just been a phenomenal setter to have for this Trojan team in that leadership position, but also on the court as a player. She is a phenomenal setter, does her job so well. Right alongside her is Emma Gallegos, one of her best friends. Emma has been just one of the best defensive specialists for the Trojans in her time here at Trinity. She's been so consistent, someone that the Trojans can rely on no matter what happens. If a game's going rough, look to Emma. If a game's going good, Emma's, I guarantee, part of it. Emma Gallegos has just been such a solid, such a consistent player throughout her time here at Trinity. Looking at Paige, another player coming in later into the program, just being such sorry about that technical difficulty. Coming back, like I said, Paige, another great player for the Trojans. Such an energy to have on that court. Brings such passion to the game of volleyball. And alongside her is Hattie Black, a player who's dual sport athlete, played basketball and volleyball in her time here at Trinity, and is someone who in that setting position has just done a phenomenal job and just such a great teammate to have. It has been so much fun. As Ethan comes up here and gets himself set, it's going to be a fun game against Roosevelt. These are both 2 great programs that have a lot of skill, a lot of talent, and it will be exciting to watch this matchup go down.
Alrighty, folks. Well, welcome aboard, and we have got a good one tonight. We've got Seth Risky up here with us. My name is Ethan Oskroba, and we will be taking you through all these senior day action. Should be a great one between the Trojans of Trinity International and the Lakers of Roosevelt University. You've got Roosevelt coming in at 6-19 this year. It has not been the campaign they've been looking for. The Trojans on a 2-game win streak in a very strong season. Seth, what are some of the things you're looking for in this matchup tonight?
I think for the Trojans, this is just a moment where they really want to finish strong in the season. In this last home game, celebrating the seniors, this is a game where I really just want to see some of these seniors have a great time, have some fun, but also just do what they've been doing all season. Not the start the Trojans are looking for, as Lana Vujocevic serves that one out. But the Trojans have been, when they've been consistent and when they've been communicating as a team, have been a phenomenal team all season, so that's something I'd love to see.
Absolutely. It has been a terrific year for this club. They find themselves down 1-0 here, as it's going to be Katarina Calabrese checking in to serve for Roosevelt. She hammers this one down the middle. Brianna Torres has the dig. Here's Skripchak setting up the freshman Romero out in front, handled by Roosevelt. Pop back over, Freeman with the dig. Here comes Nadia Wheeler queuing it up and just a little bit wide. We've seen Wheeler at times be a little bit inconsistent, but she has got tremendous power and brings a lot to this Trojan team out on the edge.
It's a great job there by the Roosevelt blockers, not touching that one as it goes out, because that was what Wheeler was going for.
Yep, the Trojans will take that one there. A little bit of good fortune for TIU as Calabrese hits that one errantly and into the twine. So the Trojans on the board, and here is Jalen Freeman, the fifth-year Trojan, native of Alabama, the libero tonight. This one is blocked down in front. Nicely done, that Trojan front wall, very imposing.
Williams and Wheeler able to get up there for the block, doing a great job of shutting down that middle hitter.
We are all knotted up as Freeman fires away, and this one is somehow kept up. It looks as if it had hit the ground, and it's heaved back over. Now here's Skripchak setting up Torres. The Trojans try to improvise, but the point to Roosevelt nonetheless. I believe it didn't quite clear the net.
Torres also landed in the net as that one was coming down, so just unfortunate for the Trojans. Torres is the set a little out in front of her, and she's just not quite able to get it over.
Yep, rare to see a mistake like that from Torres, the three-time CCAC first-team all-conference player. She's well on her way to another one of those, possibly this year. Now this one flipped across and hammered a little bit too far by Jessa Henry, one of the leading killers for Roosevelt this season. So the Trojans finding themselves down by a little bit here early. Now this one fired down the middle, and this one just barely too far on the attempt from Alyssa Stilley, the 6'2" senior from Greenwood, Indiana.
We're going to see Emma Gallegos check in to serve for Nadia Wheeler, and she will be playing in that defensive specialist role, one of the seniors we are honoring here tonight.
Gallegos so dangerous in the service as she fires that one away, and the Trojans quickly on the board to tie it up. So Gallegos, she's a very talented player. We saw her fill in for Jalen Freeman earlier, but she really knows her role and really helps this team out in the service game. Roosevelt able to lob this one back over. Here's Skripchak setting up Torres. Sometimes it's just too easy out there for Brianna Torres.
Leaving Torres isolated with one blocker is a recipe for disaster, as we saw right there.
This one's set up now. The attempt took some steam out of it on the block. Torres has the dig. Give and go to Torres, who fires away. And it's just so hard to get in front of and corral those blocks when Torres has time and space to fire. You can just about put it in the books.
I think for Roosevelt, that will definitely be something we'll need to see from them to have a chance in this game, is can they shut down Torres?
Absolutely. So many dangerous Trojans out in front. Now some miscommunication by Roosevelt. And Trinity all of a sudden is right back on the horse after the slow start. They lead at 7-4. Gallegos to serve once more for TIU. She batters it over the right side, and this is going to find its way to the ground. So the contribution of Emma Gallegos, the talented Trojan senior, on full display here, and Roosevelt calls timeout.
Emma Gallegos just picking apart this Roosevelt defense, finding the players she wants to be serving it to, finding those gaps, and really just doing a great job forcing that timeout from Roosevelt. That's an early timeout as the Trojans take that 8-4 lead, and so we'll see what the Trojans are able to do coming out, and hopefully Emma Gallegos is able to continue serving phenomenally.
Yeah, Gallegos is such a terrific all-around player for these TIU Trojans, and just great to see her get these opportunities to contribute even on a really deep Trojan roster. She has just settled into her role so well, a very selfless player, and she is going to be doing her thing all night long for TIU, especially in the service game. And that just shows the impact that having quality service has on a team, being able to force that early timeout and get themselves right back in this thing. The Trojans have got Freeman, they've got Gallegos, they have got, of course, Lana Vujosevic, so many great servers on this TIU roster.
And you can't forget Brianna Torres, who has been one of the best servers for the Trojans all year as well.
Absolutely. You've got the Trojans always chanting her name as she runs up to serve it. There's nothing like it. A great atmosphere in Van Dixhorn, as always, tonight. Here goes Gallegos. She will fire it down the left side. Here's the setup, and it's shoveled forward. Nice diving dig by Vujosevic. Torres finding the dead zone. A lot of power on those strikes from Brianna Torres, but this time the veteran savvy takes over, and she finds the dead zone on the floorboards.
And just some little miscommunications from Roosevelt there. No one coming up to cover behind the blockers. Leaves that one wide open for Torres.
And now this point to Trinity once more. I believe a double cut touch called there. And it is 10-4 to TIU. The timeout not really coming into huge effect here. The Trojans are unperturbed and continuing to surge here early. Here's Gallegos firing away once more. Now this one's stuffed out in front. Back to Roosevelt. On the wing, hammered down, blocked by TIU. Skripchak setting it cross court to Torres. Diving effort by Calabrese to keep it up. And now falling away, a good strike from Victoria Marasheva. Long point here by both sides. Skripchak lunging for the dig. Freeman, Torres from long range, free to fire. Somehow swallowed up once again by Roosevelt. Another chance for Trinity. Torres! One more time, it's Brianna Torres. She is on fire here early for the Trojans. They lead at 11-4.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. And right now for the Trojans, Torres being a phenomenal presence in that attack.
Absolutely. So many great players, outside hitters, middle hitters, but Torres no doubt foremost among them, and she is getting hers tonight. Here's the shot on the outside by Marasheva. Now Torres running up. This one will carry him into the seats. Boy, it looked like Calabrese was in a good position to get the dig on that. Just too much power from Brianna Torres. The Trojans absolutely ambushing the visiting Lakers of Roosevelt University. Emma Gallegos is wreaking havoc in the service game. She goes with a lighter serve here. Puts to Marasheva, and she finally gets the kill to get Roosevelt a little bit of a breather here amid the Trojan onslaught.
That was about an 8-point run there for the Trojans off of Emma Gallegos. A phenomenal start for them in this first set.
And now it'll be right back in the hands of the Trojans. Jessa Henry with this service and coming up a little bit short here. Now here's what we've been talking about. You'll hear the chants of Brianna's name as she goes up to serve it. Such a terrific player for the Trojans for so many years. The Lakers able to handle this one though. Nice block out in front. Right back to Roosevelt. Another effort to number 2, Marasheva. They're feeding her early and often. And now there's Madison Williams rising up in the middle for her first kill. Boy, she has got such great synergy with Skripchak rising and firing and finishing quickly.
That's one of the things for this Trojan offense that has done so well all season is the synergy between Skripchak and the rest of their hitters. They've done such a good job in all those spots.
And now this one outside of the post. And it'll be another score for the Trojans, who are absolutely on fire right now. Started out with a little bit of a lull, but sometimes it doesn't take this team long to find their rhythm. Here comes Torres down the right side. Now this one fired in the middle, and a nice read by the Trojans not to touch that one. Boy, these Trojans so intelligent on some of those plays. Very good at discerning what's going to be in, what's going to be out. Here's Torres, this one down the middle. Here's Marasheva again, and she overcooks this one past the sideline, 17-5 TIU.
Trojans just coming out with a very dominant start. They're serving. You go from Gallegos, who goes on an 8-point run. You have Brianna Torres, who's on a few-point run of her own. The Lakers have just not been able to receive the serve so far.
So many tremendous weapons, and this on a night where the Trojans' leader in aces, Lana Vujocevic, started off this game with a service error. They're still getting it done in the service game. Here is Vujocevic now on the attack. Lofted up, the Lakers keep it alive. Marisheva improvising here. Nice diving effort by Vujocevic to keep it up. And now miscommunication from the Trojans as Freeman and Torres both got a hand to it.
You can see a smile break across Freeman's and Torres' face as they realized they were just both in each other's way on that one, and they had no idea what to do with it.
Very rare to see miscommunication between those two. Here comes Marisheva. Now moving laterally and getting away a brilliant strike is Madison Williams. Boy, these Trojans are doing it all right now. Substitutions, as we'll see Desiree Pasano, the talented Trojan senior who was honored earlier for senior night, come into the game.
If you're this Laker defense, the serving receive does not get any easier from these Trojan players.
Yep, Pasano, another one of the tremendous service specialists who has filled that role brilliantly for TIU. Roosevelt improvising here. They keep it alive. Now this one smashed down out in front and careening into the net. I believe that was Romero out in front. The talented Trojan freshman has done a lot of things right, even on this deep Trojan team, playing herself into the starting lineup. Here is Vajava Blistrabas, the libero, set to serve it. Vujocevic with the dig. And the dig coming out a little too far, so Roosevelt has got a little bit of momentum here. It's still 18-8, the Trojans out in front. Blistrabas set to serve it again. Rare to see Roosevelt string together a couple of points in this first stanza, but they've been able to do so here. Here's Romero shifting toward the side. The Lakers handle it. Now this one battered down in front and through the blockers. Logan Cofield getting a kill.
Trojans just not able to get up there right through both the blockers who go up. And Roosevelt putting together some points here.
Yeah, the Lakers definitely fighting back. This CCAC conference so deep that even a team like the Lakers that struggled a little bit is going to provide a resistance, no doubt about it. Though this serve from Blistrabas sails on out. And once again, Trinity's 10-point advantage is restored.
We'll see Anna Skripchak come in to serve. She's got a beautiful floater. The short floater has been super deadly on many of these occasions.
There it is on this occasion. The Lakers not fooled this time, and this one gets shoveled through for the finish, 19-10. Trinity still out in front. Yeah, Skripchak is so clever in that service game with the low line drive and that high floater. Now the left-handed serve from the Lakers. The Trojans keeping it alive. Here's Torres from long range, just a little bit too far. And I guess Brianna Torres is human.
That was the look the Trojans wanted. Torres with the back row hit. Just a little too much power.
Yeah, she will fire from any range. And this one now barreling into the net from Emily DeBlecourt. So Trinity scoring their 20th of the set. They can smell blood in the water right now with their, arguably their best server, Vujocevic, back up to go. This one battered down in front. Vujocevic has the dig. Skripchak setting it back for Vujocevic. And now the block by the Trojans in front, but the Lakers work it back over. Wheeler has to just loft it on over the twine. Now long range strike for Cofield, diving effort. Great dig by Freeman, and Torres, back corner, puts it away. What a tremendous sequence by the Trojans.
That right there is the story of the Trojan success. Freeman doing such a great job. She has been a player every year that she's been here that has put in the effort, put in the hustle, every single play. Right there brings up a great point, and then Torres just finishing it off for them.
The tremendous transfer from Gadsden State Community College in her third year with the Trojans, continuing to have a tremendous impact. Roosevelt scrambling to get this one back over. Vujocevic with the routine dig. Now Torres couldn't get too much on it on that occasion. And now a violation called, the score to the Trojans, who lead by double the Lakers tally. It's 22-11. Vujocevic, after the service error on the opening play of this set, is making good on her second time around. She blasts it down the middle. The Lakers not with a very potent attack there. Here's Romero quickly out in front. Nice dig by Blestrabas. It's palmed back over by Roosevelt. Here is Wheeler on the edge with some nice touch, but it's handled. Roosevelt just fighting these ones off. Not getting a lot of strong attacks. There's a strong attack from Torres, but unfortunately a nice block out in front by the Lakers, and the Trojans unable to keep it back up.
A lot of scrappy play from both those teams, not able to get any clean hits on either side. Long rally, but the Roosevelt Lakers end up coming away with it. The Trojans will, and Vujocevic will finally end her time as a server.
Yep, the Trojans so good on those plays where sometimes athleticism just has to take over, but on that occasion they're outdone by Roosevelt. And this one just a little too far from Teresa Romero, the talented freshman from Tucson, Arizona. A couple of near misses for her in this first stanza. Here's the dig by Torres, one of the team leaders in that category, and now she blasts this one away, and it is just wide. So Brianna Torres, we knew it would be one of the important signs tonight for Roosevelt to see if they could contain her in any way. And they've been able to cool her off the slightest bit, but the great ones make adjustments, as she no doubt will. Now this serve too far, brilliantly read by Torres, and it is 23-14 in favor of TIU.
A few of these balls that have gone out have indeed been out, but they are pretty much as close as you can get to not being in.
On both sides, we've seen it. Both sides doing a great job judging the confines of the court. Now here is Marsheva, and Freeman unable to handle that one. Freeman has got such good hands, it's rare to see anything that she can get to not get popped back up skyward. Here is Alyssa Stilley firing away. Skripchak leaping to set up Wheeler, who records the kill. And the Trojans are just one score away from finishing this deal off.
Great cross-court shot there by Wheeler, finding the gap, finding a place where there's no defender, and just beautifully laying it in there.
Well, now who better than Emma Gallegos, who was terrific in service earlier in the set and all season long, to try to finish this thing off for the Trojans. And that is going to do it. I believe a Roosevelt player careening into the net. That all set up by the terrific high-powered serve from Gallegos, and the Trojans victorious in set number one. Well, these Trojans out in front of a huge crowd, they certainly did not want to disappoint their fans or themselves in pursuit of a 3-game winning streak tonight. A brilliant first stanza from these Trojans. They have got some really great things on the horizon. This Trojan team has clinched a postseason berth both in conference, the CCAC, where they will likely be the 4th seed and will likely get to host a playoff match, playing against whoever ends up being the 5 seed in this conference. And they have also secured a playoff chance nationally in the NCCAA. So plenty of postseason volleyball to be played by these Trojans, but first they're trying to finish off the regular season strong, and they're off to a great start in doing so, up 1-0 against the Lakers of Roosevelt.
And I think for them, that's the mentality that they need to have, and the mentality that they're going for is just to play it 1 point at a time, 1 game at a time, to have that mentality of you don't have to look towards the future. One of the problems, they've run into some dry spells this season where just some rough games where just they're not characteristically themselves. And for them, I think just staying focused on the game, staying focused on the team, the players, their game, and they will go long ways in the CCAC and also in the conference. It is going to be an exciting year. This is the year for the Trojans. I mean, when we look at their team compared to last year, a lot of the same returners. Next year is going to be a whole different squad. So for a lot of these seniors, a lot of these juniors, this is like the crowning moment in their career.
Absolutely. This is a great time to be a Trojan fan, and I think there's some difficulty sometimes when you feel the weight of that, knowing they're going to lose a lot of these players. How do the Trojans really cope with that and find a way to just do their best every single game, even knowing those games could be among their last?
Yeah. I mean, you want to talk about the other thing. Back in 2019, they were the NCCAA regional champions. So 2019 having a very great season. Then obviously in 2020 is that COVID year that just messed everything up. And since then, they've been just consistently getting better, and they're hoping to return to and reclaim that championship that they got back in 2019.
It is going to be really interesting to see how things play out. And yeah, these Trojans do have a lot of veterans, a lot of players they will be losing, but we've also seen great glimpses of their bright future this year with players such as Romero, who finds herself into the starting lineup, as well as Isabella Acosta, who's provided quality minutes off the bench. So many of these Trojan newcomers have been playing great, so yeah, this year is the year, perhaps, but there are going to be a few more of the year set to come with some of these Trojan youngsters.
That is the hope, and with head coach Luke Ward on the sideline leading this team, recruiting, he does a phenomenal job each year. And hopefully that continues for seasons to come. But for the moment, back to the game.
Absolutely. Second set just about to get underway. Trinity is going to have their starting lineup out there. Jalen Freeman is courtside and ready to check in. Of course, the libero not limited by the substitution rules that adhere to the other players, so she will check in as Madison Williams heads off. And we are just about to get going. This rare moment of calm and silence right before the second set gets underway here at Van Dixhorn Arena. Such tremendous energy here all season long and all match long. Very big crowd is on hand tonight. One of the biggest we've seen here at Van Dixhorn, with this being senior night. Trojan students, you've got parents, you've got a couple of Roosevelt fans as well. Just great representation from a variety of demographics, and it has been a lot of fun and a great atmosphere. And it seems we are finally about ready to get going. Jessa Henry will start it off. Henry listed as a setter, but at 6 foot tall, she can do a lot of things some other setters can't. Very talented all-around player. Here is Roosevelt, and that's going to be too many touches, I believe. So the Trojans starting it off with a 1-0 advantage.
Been there, done that when you go up for the hit and you just jumped a little bit early and you're coming down and you're trying to hit it and it just goes off your hand weird and you're sitting there looking pretty weird.
Absolutely. Sometimes people don't understand just how difficult this game is. Until you play it, you really don't know, as this one is pinpointed back there and we are evened up at 1 apiece. But yeah, sometimes these Trojans just make it look so easy that we forget how difficult this sport is. It will be Calabrese to serve it. Freeman to Vujocevic on the long-range effort, and unable to recover are the Lakers, so the Trojans out in front 2-1. Madison Williams will check in as Romero heads to the bench. Here's Freeman, bombs away down the middle. Calabrese has the dig. Long range set, and the effort from Jessa Henry a little too far out in front. of her hitter there on the outside. So the Trojans take advantage and take a 3-1 lead. Freeman lofts it up and fires. Roosevelt is there. Henry's setting up Mereshka, and this one finding its way down.
Roosevelt able to find the gap there on that hit. Right in between the block. Not much you can do there if you're a Trojan.
Now this one shoveled down out in front. Scrappy play at the net, and it finds its way down. Holding down the fort was Madison Williams as the Trojans do score it.
Williams had to go out for 2 efforts there, but she manages to get the best of both of them and keeps the ball in the Trinity court.
Yeah, Williams, a real scrapper out there, a very efficient hitter for the Trojans. Nice effort by Gallegos to keep that alive. A diving effort to keep it off the ground, and now the block out in front. Torres and Williams combine to stifle the Laker attack.
Great defensive play there by the Trojans, by Emma Gallegos, as well as the block.
This Trojan team has just been full of highlights all season long. Now a bit of an errant effort by the Lakers. And those Trojan serves just so hard to handle, and it starts with Emma Gallegos. 13 in black has been terrific at doing that for her entire career. Over 100 aces for her career, even though she's not always out there. Very impressive. Here's Freeman setting up Torres. A great effort there by Blistrabas, but just too much power and placement from Brianna Torres. The Trojans have got themselves a 7-2 advantage. The loft from Gallegos. Now here's Meresheva, and she gets that one to the ground despite the effort from Vujosevic. Boy, Lana Vujosevic has such tremendous defensive effort.
Her and Jalen Freeman both are 2 of them that puts in the most effort as that ball soars out. They are 2 of the ones that always have the most energy. Lana Vujosevic, if you know anything about her, she is just a lot of energy at all times of the day. You find her, she will make you laugh. She's just a phenomenal person for this Trojan team to have.
Absolutely. So many of those veteran leaders. Great leadership and just people that are great friends to their teammates, and just a really positive squad. A lot of great vibes on this team as they take a 9-3 advantage. Here is Brianna Torres as she will run up to the chance of her name. Dig by Meresheva. Torres has got it. Script shock to Vujosevic. Nice effort by Freeman. Quick reflexes. And now Torres coming up a little bit short here. Torres, you'll see the occasional error from her, but certainly not something we get used to. It's incredible how efficient she is despite the tremendous load that she shoulders for TIU. Vujosevic with the dig, but it caroms back to the RU side. Now here is Cofield. Vujosevic into the blocks, through the blocks, but kept alive. Now Henry, it's stuffed again by TIU. Gallegos has that, quickly rising and firing. Williams handled by Roosevelt. Here's Henry, the versatile setter, also second on the team in kills. Torres running up, not her most potent attack, but she finds a way to get it over. And now great dig by Torres to keep it alive. Vujosevic shoveling it down, and still we play on. Torres will have it again. Here's Skripchak to Williams. Somehow saved. Great effort by de Blancourt, and this one just out. The Trojans outlast Roosevelt. What an effort by the team in black.
A little bit of a dink battle from both those teams as there were just some nice soft touches over. Roosevelt not able to finish it on a few of those hits, and the Trojans end up coming away with it.
Here is Desiree Pasona, one of the Trojan seniors, and like Gallegos, terrific in the service game. Unable to handle this dig here, however. And Roosevelt gets a much-needed score. It is 10-5 in favor of Trinity. Now it will be Gabriel Teore to serve for Roosevelt. She will rise and fire, and it is just off the back line. Boy, either Gallegos or Torres could have handled it, but great judgment from the pair of veterans to let that one sail out.
Coach Ward on the sideline thought that one went out, but the line judge had the view with Emma there, and that will stay on the side of the Trojans.
The loft here from Skripchak. Back to the Trojans. Now here's Wheeler. Has to adjust, but does manage to get it over. Here's Cofield. Nice dig by Freeman. She just makes it look so easy. Now Vujosevic. Good effort here to keep it up by Marisheva. And Roosevelt is unable to recover. So the blistering strike eventually does find its way to the hardwood. And the Trojans have carved out a 7-point lead, dominant here on senior night. Now here's the hard line drive from Skripchak. This one pushed over. Torres has the dig. Here's Wheeler. Wheeler firing away just beyond the back corner. That one barely missed by maybe 6 inches from Nadia Wheeler.
One of the things we've seen from both these teams, we've not seen many contacts that have gone out of bounds. Either these teams have hit down into the court effectively, or they've just hit it way too high where no blocker is going to get to it.
Vujosevic has the dig. Here's Skripchak, back to Lana. Nice dig with the palms up by Marisheva. And likewise from Torres. Recovering there is Wheeler. She gets it over. Now a dangerous strike out in front. Oh, what an effort to get a fist on it from Brianna Torres, but nobody home for the Trojans.
It's one of the plays where you hope your middle can get up for the block there. There's just too much court to cover, if not. And Romero just not able to get up there in time.
Now the serve a little bit too far from Jessa Henry, the senior and Illinois native. And it will be Lana Vujosevic, who hails from Bar Montenegro, a transfer from Governor State University here in the States, getting her education and chasing her dream in this sport. Great effort from Lana. She almost got to that one, but Roosevelt does finish it off, and all of a sudden a little bit of life from these Lakers here. They only trail by 5.
The Trojans just not in the right spot on a few of these plays. Not able to get up for the block. Not in the right position to cover. Mistakes looking to be cleaned up.
Here's Skripchak setting up Romero. And just too much on that one from Teresa Romero. Both Romero and Madison Williams, we've seen them out in front. And Skripchak, the terrific setter for the Trojans, just always in sync with those players. Here is Freeman firing away. Henry setting up Marisheva, and a rare mistake from number 2, who has been fed early and often for Roosevelt. She's the team leader in kills, and you can see why. They are turning to her quite often here. Here's the attack out in front. Skripchak has the dig. Now racing in Vujosevic, and she pinpoints it just over the block and into the vacated floorboards.
Great awareness there by Vujosevic to see that block and to get over it. The timeout will be called by Roosevelt as they have fallen down 8.
Well, the Trojans were so dominant in set number 1. But, man, it's just been more of the same here in the second stanza. Gosh, I don't know how long we've been playing here, but it feels like in a blink of an eye, the Trojans are already up a set and on their way to taking set number 2.
So we look at the kill leaders. You have Brianna Torres, who else, leading with 7 kills. You've got Madison Williams with 3, and Lana Vujosevic has 2. And Torres with 7 kills already is just, and she's left a few out there on the court. She has just been a dominant player, as she always is. And the rest of this Trinity staff is really supporting her.
No doubt about it. Torres, just one of the best players in this conference right about now. She's been absolutely terrific for these Trojans, but also the names you mentioned, Williams and Vujocevic. We've seen Williams be an anchor in the front and middle, and we've seen Vujocevic really come on as a tremendous complementary option to Torres throughout this season.
And Madison Williams also has 4 blocks to start this match. That is an incredible stat to put up, especially only 1.5 sets through. She's just having a great game defensively up in that front row as well.
Absolutely, an absolute anchor out there, just finding a way not only to block shots, but also to affect some of these spikes and force them away from her. Now this is a great dig by Skripchak, but miscommunication between Williams and Wheeler, and it's all for naught, despite the great effort by Anna Skripchak.
It was a great dig with her hands there by Anna Skripchak. Unfortunate that one had hit the ground.
Boy, these Trojans, whenever you see them miscommunicate or have a mistake, they just move on so quickly, though. Now here's Wheeler firing away. It is blocked down and will go to the Lakers. So Roosevelt continuing to show some life. They are not going to go out quietly tonight. They would love to spoil the party here for the Trojans on Trojan Senior Night. Here is Blestrabas, and she pinpoints that one in front of the diving Freeman. If Jalen Freeman can't get to it, I'm not sure anybody can. That was a great serve from Blestrabas.
Beautifully put just behind that 10-foot line, right where you want it.
Now kneeling for the dig is Vujocevic, and Torres gets away. A brilliant strike, my goodness. We have seen some highlight reel kills from Brianna Torres. That one, just the force behind it, that was tremendous.
She definitely terminated that point in a heartbeat.
Here comes Gallegos once again, and Gallegos is just proof that you don't have to always be out on the floor to have a tremendous impact on a game. She's been great in the service. Now this one blocked out in front. I believe it was Torres who got it. Madison Williams right there again for the Trojans as well. So I'm not sure if we've got numbers on this, at least not so quickly, but the Trojans' percentage, their rate of scoring on Emma Gallegos serves has got to be out of this world, though they won't manage to score on that one, as that one is skillfully guided into the middle of the floor despite the diving effort from Torres.
You're right, Ethan. We don't have those statistics, but the Trojans, if you look at their stats, they don't have a ton of kills. I mean, they have 15 kills, which is pretty decent, but really their serving is what's really been carrying them in this game so far.
Absolutely. As this one sails out right on cue, the Trojans definitely making less mistakes and capitalizing more on their service. And it's been great to see that on a night like this, knowing that 2 of the seniors that are being honored, Gallegos and Pasano, are really service specialists for the Trojans. Here's Vujocevic getting the kill out in front. Boy, that to me is the closest thing to a slam dunk that this sport has to offer. When it just drifts to you and you can just absolutely pound it into the floor. Nothing like it. 20-12 TIU. Here's Torres. And this one is unable to be lofted up cleanly. So Torres finishing that one. And it is 21-12 in favor of TIU.
This serving rotation for the Trojans, when you go from Gallegos to Torres, is just unstoppable and such a hard thing to battle back against.
This one is fired by Merisheva, and she's overdone that shot, so 22-12 in favor of TIU. But yeah, this service game is so relentless. And when the Trojans are winning points, they continue to win them because of that. And that enables them to also come back in a heartbeat if they ever need to, due to being able to string together several aces or quality serves resulting in a point. This one, however, is won by Roosevelt as they will end the serving streak for Torres. Here is Merisheva, the leading killer for Roosevelt, and she sails this one too far, so the last 2 times Roosevelt has had it, they've had service errors.
Been one of the big stories of this game is just the serving difference between the Trojans and the Lakers. The Lakers have made a lot of errors on their serves, which has set them up in costly positions for themselves.
Pasano coming in, raising the right hand and firing. Here's Henry setting this one up, blocked by TIU. Here's a long-range shot for Mary Shiva. And she blasted that one down. That was a terrific strike, almost Torres-esque in a way, as she brings Roosevelt back within single digits.
You know a player's having a good night when you see a good hit and you compare it to another player. And that's been Torres' story tonight.
Well, she's really been the gold standard for just about her entire Trojan career. Been terrific since day one she stepped on campus, and there is another error from the Lakers. Brianna Torres, yeah, just continuing a terrific season, a terrific career, recently reaching 2,000 kills. That is an unbelievable figure for any player.
She will go down in Trinity history as one of the greats.
Now Skripchak to serve. We'll see if she goes with the short one or the laser beam. It's the lofter. Long range attack. Nice dig by Torres. Here is Wheeler. Henry has got it. Now Henry will fire away and blast it through the wall of Trojans. Vujocevic and Romero were there, but unable to quite get in front. Still set point for Trinity. It's 24-15. Roosevelt would need to catch lightning in a bottle in a big way right now if they're to come back. Here's Henry, flat-footed serve. Skripchak setting up Vujocevic. It is blocked down in front. A great effort by Logan Cofield, as these Lakers do not want to go down.
Cofield with an amazing block there. That is not an easy hit to block, and she does a phenomenal job of controlling that.
Vujocevic, nice sidewinding dig. Torres guiding it towards Wheeler. Wheeler blasting away, comes back to the Trojans. Wheeler, and now Romero firing away and unable to clear the net. So Teresa Romero has been a little inconsistent tonight. She's done so many great things for these Trojans this season, and her teammates picking her up as they still are up by 7 here in this set. Looking to close it out. Henry. Freeman has got it. Skripchak setting up Vujocevic with a nice touch. Ooh. And this thing is in the books. Boy, that was a beautiful bit of touch from Lana Vujocevic.
Vujocevic hits it hard, gets it blocked, decides, I'm just going to tip it over, and it works out well for the Trojans.
Well, when you've got players like Torres and Vujocevic where you've really got to honor that absolute laser beam, what does that do to open up other options like that in the attacking game?
It does make the Lakers' job very difficult indeed.
So these Trojans absolutely on fire early on. The first 2 sets in the books and both going towards Trinity. They are in pursuit of their 23rd victory this season. Just an absolutely outstanding campaign from TIU. This crowd on hand tonight, really enjoying themselves as they honor the Trojan seniors. We've seen great contributions from up and down the TIU roster on an evening where they're really just having a lot of fun. You see some of the Trojans knocking out some push-ups in the huddle right now between sets, just goofing off a little bit. Great vibes, but one thing you've got to love about these Trojans is whether they are up or they are down, 2-0 their way or 2-0 the other way, they still have got that same positive energy all evening long and all season long, through the good times and the bad. Well, Seth Risky, who was serving as the color man tonight, doing a terrific job for us. He is out of here now, so I will be taking you home Vin Scully style. I will be play-by-play and color for the duration of this contest, and that duration might not be too long here if the Trojans can get on the horse once again and finish things off in set number 3. This is the type of an effort that really has encapsulated the season the Trojans will have. Yes, there's heavy reliance on players such as Brianna Torres, Lana Vujocevic, Jalen Freeman, and Anna Skripchak, but they're getting contributions from all over this roster. and it has just been a lot of fun to watch. Madison Williams has been one of the stars for the Trojans tonight. A couple of kills and several blocks. And the service game for the Trojans has been a huge story tonight. Their service rotation so dangerous, and great to see a couple of the Trojan seniors who aren't always out on the floor but do excel in service, such as Emma Gallegos and Desiree Pasaono, really excelling for TIU tonight. Well, both sides have retaken the court, and we are just about ready to get going in the third set tonight. The Trojans, although they would love to party all night long here on senior night, they'd also like to finish this thing off in 3 sets. We'll see if they're able to seal the deal and sweep the Lakers of Roosevelt University for their 23rd win of the campaign tonight. The Trojans all business here. It's their starters out on the floor. The libero Freeman checking in for Madison Williams. Here is Vujocevic, one of the tremendous servers for the Trojans. Lana dribbling that ball. She rises and fires away. And set number 3 is underway, and the Trojans will jump out in front as that dig caromed a little too far. Vujocevic with a great example of that you don't have to get the ace to really be impactful and change the play with your serve. Vujocevic set to go once more. 1-0 to Trinity. She blasts this one away, and this one a little bit too far. So we are evened up here. Starting it off in service, that is Olivia Adams, a freshman and native of Tampa, Florida. Came a long way to play here at Roosevelt. Now Torres blasting away. And boy, we've seen this movie before. Brianna Torres with another kill, just making it look easy out there for TIU. Jalen Freeman now back to serve. Freeman. Nice dig there by Adams. Not a very potent attack, though, from the Lakers. Here is a nice effort by Vujocevic to keep it up. And the Trojans trying to improvise, but Skripchak unable to salvage that one. Skripchak has been terrific for these Trojans all season and for the entirety of her career. Top 3 all-time in assists and assists per set in this Trojan program. But she was unable to reach that one there. This one down the middle. And boy, that was really nicely placed by Gabrielle Traore, as Vujocevic could not quite get there for TIU. Roosevelt does not want to get swept tonight. They have been a very scrappy bunch, even though the Trojans are clearly the more talented team out there. Nice effort by Freeman to keep it alive, but off the post as she was just unable to guide that thing over the net. So Traore trying to do what the Trojans have done all night long and find a bit of a streak in service. She hammers this one away. Skripchak has it. Here's Wheeler, blocked back to TIU. Torres will fire away, lofting it toward the middle. Diving effort to keep it alive by Nicole Darren. And now it's blasted through by the Roosevelt leading killer, Victoria Merisheva. So this Roosevelt bunch with their backs to the wall, fighting hard to keep things going tonight. Torres has the dig here. Skripchak pitching it forward for Torres on the give and go, and add another kill to the stat sheet for Brianna Torres, who has been exceptional all night long. Now Wheeler checking out, and here's another one of the stars of tonight's contest, Emma Gallegos. In one of her last regular season games as a Trojan, she's been terrific. Fires another line drive serve. Here's Mary Sheva, and she will get another kill for the Lakers, who now lead it 6-3. So we saw the Trojans start out slow in the first set. They came back there. Will they be able to do so once again? That'll certainly help. Another kill for the red-hot Brianna Torres. Torres in the midst of a sensational night here, and now she'll get the opportunity to serve it. Barreling down the middle, here's Henry. Setting up Mary Sheva on a nice dig by Torres. Now punching it over is Williams. The Lakers finding a way to handle it. Oh, what a brilliant bit of work by Torres and Gallegos, keeping it alive. And now it's errantly struck by Mary Sheva. So the Trojans, from the jaws of defeat, pull that point out. The diving effort by Torres and just the instinctive little flick by Gallegos. A terrific bit of work, and TIU is within one, and now we're all knotted up. Torres with the service ace, an absolute howitzer off the right hand of Brianna Torres. We are all knotted up here in set number 3. Torres to Mary Sheva. Henry setting up the outside hitter to Blakecourt. And Roosevelt surges ahead again, but the Trojans are right back in this thing. It will be Mary Sheva, sophomore hailing from Secaucus, New Jersey, and one of the stars of this Roosevelt team. Now here's Vujocevic, and that was off the hand of Mary Sheva. A wry smile on her face as she tried to leave it go, but did get a fingertip on it. So the kill will be credited to Vujocevic as Desiree Passono checks in. The Trojan service specialist lofts it up. Tough to handle here, but the Lakers do. Here's script shot quickly in sync to Romero. And Trinity is out in front 8-7. Whether it's Romero or Madison Williams who is positioned front and center, Anna Skripchak has got such a terrific connection with those two. As now this one lobbed in by Passono, service ace for the Trojan senior. A great moment for a terrific player who, again, much like Gallegos, isn't able to feature prominently every single night, as she records another one right there. Back-to-back aces for Desiree Passono. Stepping up in a big way after being honored in the pregame festivities tonight. A player who just excels in her role. Could she go for the hat trick here? And this one's just wide, as she tried to drop it down on the right sideline. Nonetheless, a pair of aces from Passono. When your service run would function as a pretty decent poker hand, I'd say you did a darn good job. This one lofted over the middle. Lunging effort by Torres, who springs to her feet and puts it back over. And now this one slammed down by de Blakecourt, who we're seeing feature prominently here in this third set, keeping the Lakers close. Now the libero, Pastrabas to serve it. Skripchak setting up Vujocevic. And you cannot leave that much empty space for Alana to work with. She absolutely tomahawks that one down and has Trinity out in front by 2. Now here's Skripchak. Skripchak with the lob. Dug out by Mersheva. And this one stuffed, but blocked a little bit wide on another effort from de Blakecourt, who is really getting fed consistently and answering the call for Roosevelt. She's a big part of why they're only trailing by 1 right now. Now de Blakecourt blasts this one but it's a little bit too far. And Trinity once again out in front by 2. So these Trojans will likely be the 4th seed in the CCAC tournament, trying to get another conference and overall win here tonight in their second to last regular season contest. Somehow Roosevelt working that one over off the Vujocevic serve. Vujocevic firing away again. Nice dig by Blastrabas, and this one too far. So it seemed like just a matter of time there that the Trojans would claim it, and eventually they do, and are out in front by 3. Here's Vujocevic down the right side. Henry behind her head for Merisheva. Nice adjustment by Freeman. Here's Wheeler. And now a diving effort by Blastrabas to keep it alive. Merisheva just has to palm it over. Freeman for Torres. And too many touches, I believe, by Roosevelt. So Torres, we've seen her blast away hard. We've seen her lob it in with precision. And now we see her just use her athleticism and improvise. When it's your night, and timeout for Roosevelt. So a little bit of deja vu here in set number 1. Trinity was ambushed a little bit by the Lakers. They fell behind, but they managed to rally back and claim that set with conviction, and they do the same thing here, starting off slow and catching fire in a hurry. This is such a combustible Trojan squad, and I think their service game is a big part of what's allowed them to do that. When they gain possession, when they score a point, and they get one of their lethal servers the ball, it's just so hard to take it back from Trinity. They've ridden some of those hot streaks all the way to a 14-10 lead in this set. Well, this, of course, is senior day, and we're nearing the end of the regular season. As we were talking about earlier, lots of great postseason action for the Trojans is on tap. But for now, the regular season will close out in a road contest as they will face off with the CCAC leading Cougars of St. Xavier University at St. Xavier on Thursday, November the 3rd. The Trojans, even though first place in the conference is out of reach, they will definitely be looking for some revenge in that one after the Cougars came in to Van Dixhorn Arena and beat the Trojans in straight sets. Here's Skripczak setting up Vujocevic, who blasts away, and it's just past the end line. We've seen great discretion from both teams tonight, knowing when to leave it when it's going to sail just a little bit too far, as that one did there. Now here's Olivia Adams. Good bit of work by Torres, who pops up and fires it down right on the line and through the Laker blocks. Brianna Torres is absolutely feasting tonight for Trinity. Freeman rises up. Adams has got it. Back over to Torres. Here's Torres again. Another attack for Brianna. And this time she finishes it off for TIU. Boy, sometimes it feels like the Trojans could score if Torres was the only player to touch the ball. Never mind the fact that they've got an unbelievably talented roster behind her. Now this one finished off by Merisheva as it's through the hands of Skripczak, so Roosevelt stemming the tide just a little bit here as the Trojans lead by 4. Here is Gabrielle Teore, who had a nice service stretch earlier. Williams with a rare set for Torres. Great effort to keep it up there by Roosevelt. That seemed like Torres would have another kill. Now here is Torres punching it forward, and it's gonna find its way down. So Torres getting clever with it. We saw 2 attacks from her, one that almost was a kill, and the second one does result in the finish. And neither of them hit particularly hard. Some of the savvy from the 5th-year vet. Here's Gallegos. One of the Trojan seniors, she's been terrific tonight. And another ace for the Trojans. We've seen Pasona, we've seen Gallegos. Both of those Trojans coming off the bench, and they have been outstanding, even by their standards, in service tonight. Here's another blast over. Now Meresheva forcing it through. And early in the set, it was de Blacourt. Now it's Meresheva once again taking over for Roosevelt to keep them in it here. 18-13, the Trojans out in front. Nice bit of work by Skripchak, managing to get a hand on that and deny the easy kill. Gallegos has the dig. Skripchak to Torres. Back corner pinpointed by Brianna Torres. And that one had so much juice on it, it's taken down one of the banners that they had back there for their seniors. They've got banners with the names of team manager Kendra Mass, as well as Desiree Pasono, Skripchak, Emma Gallegos, Paige Hintz, and Hattie Black. And that took down Gallegos' banner, as Roosevelt will get back into it with a score here. But no doubt, something that that pair of Trojan vets will joke about. Gallegos having such a terrific night tonight, but the second half of her name is no longer up in the bleachers. Here comes Meresheva. Skripchak to Vujosevic. Vujosevic has it. Skripchak will get tricky and try to push it over. The Lakers have got it. And now de Blacourt with another kill. She gets back in the action. And the Lakers just will not go away, as dominant as TIU has been tonight. The Trojans only find themselves up by 4. This one blasted down the middle. Skripchak. Good dig by Blestrabas. Now Cofield will fire away. And Madison Williams will record another kill as her terrific night continues. Williams will get a well-deserved break, as here comes Pasono, who had a couple of aces the last time she touched it. She'll lift that right hand and loft it over the middle. Nice block out in front. Teresa Romero has it for TIU. And that's been a major area where the talented freshman has been able to contribute. Even on a night like this where her attacking game has been a little bit out of sync, she's still contributing as a major net front presence. Here's the long-range effort from de Blacourt. Roosevelt scrambling, but they recover. Cofield has a go. It's again blocked by the Trojan wall. Now a nice dig by Gallegos up toward the rafters. Skripchak for Torres punching it forward. The Lakers have got it, and the Lakers now out of sync as the set led Cofield a little bit too far. So Trinity has now got a 22-15 advantage. Here is Pasono. Over the middle, off the top of the net. Great effort by Blestrabas to keep it up. And now this one blocked in front. There's Romero again off the attack from the surging de Blacourt. Boy, Romero's so dangerous out in front. And she is really taking over defensively for TIU now. They've opened up an 8-point lead. The Trojans looking to put things away. Now this one blasted by Cofield, but unable to clear the net, and it is match point for TIU. The Trojans looking for the sweep. Coming alive. Several of the Trojans, as Pasono will look to put it away. This one comes up a little short, though, from Desi, as she will check out. The energy remaining here in Van Dixhorn as Blestrabas will serve it. Skripchak for Torres, and it's a little bit short as it barrels into the middle of the net. Still, this prolonged match now giving more of the Trojan fans an opportunity to stand up and cheer. About half of Van Dixhorn Arena